everyone, and thank you for joining me for another video. Today is our mid-month check-in for the month of April. Now, if you missed the April budget, I'll leave that video linked up above and you can go back and check it out. I've also completed our paycheck budget number 1, and our mid-month check-in, it does mirror our paycheck budget number 1. So let me go ahead and get started. So for hubs for the whole month, we've planned $24.22 to be direct deposited to this joint household account, and so far we've had $14.62 deposited. And then for me, we've got $14.60 planned, and so far we've had a total of $730 deposited. So that's a total income at mid-month $21.92. And then for our giving, we've planned $915 for the whole month, and we've given $455 thus far. Now we get down here to our expenses. Of course, the mortgage has been taken care of, Netflix, our internet, YouTube, and of course our electricity. Now our car insurance is not due. The AT&T is not due. Life insurance. Now with our pest control, I talked about this in paycheck budget number 1 closeout. We have to confirm the appointment with our pest control guy, and he is probably going to come Friday, which is the 16th, or either that Monday. I think that's the 19th, which it puts us over into paycheck budget number 2. And I went ahead and just said that, we have not paid it yet because we haven't. And so I'm still not going to count it because as the filming of this video, he still has not been here to do the pest control. So our lawn service, that's due at the end of the month. Our regular tax payment is due at the end. Our groceries. Now we have a total of $575 planned this month, and we've spent $270.10 thus far. Now with our house supplies, we have a total of $75 planned for the whole month, and we've actually spent $58.23 thus far. And then for our gas, we have $100 planned for the month, and we've spent $25. When we get here to the buffer, now I've had to use the buffer in our paycheck budget number 1 to get some medicine, and we have for the whole month allocated $50. But thus far, I've spent $35.65 from our buffer. So let me go ahead and total what we have spent for mid-month check-in, and we'll see what we are looking at. So we should be the exact amount as our paycheck budget. All right, that's correct. $1329.89. That's our total. And the YouTube, that should be 11. That should be a 9 there. Looks like a 5. All right, and then when we get over here to our savings, that's set aside at mid-month, the $50.85. Our pets got their $50, and I have purchased them some items, which once I do our saving funds update, you'll see that I did take out money for their supplies. I did talk about I would have to go ahead and get them some items, and I did, and I used their fund for that. Son's tuition $150 and the vacation $100. So at mid-month, everything was taken care of. So the $350.85 as far as the savings. And then our taxes for the whole month, we're planning $85. So at mid-month, $15.24 was set aside. So I'll go ahead down here in our mid-month check. This is our monthly overview, but at mid-month check-in, $21.92 has already been received, and our given $455 has been given. Our expenses are at $1329.89. Our savings is at the $350.85, and then our debt is at the $15.24. So when I crunch these numbers, $21.92 minus $455 minus $1329.89 minus $350.85, and then minus $15.24. So we have remaining at mid-month $41.02. So that 41.02 is the same amount that is in our paycheck budget number 1. And I talked a little bit about in our paycheck budget number 1 about being, over budget. So if we truly had paid for the pest control in paycheck 1, I would say subtract $55 from that, we would have been almost $14 negative on our paycheck budget number 1. And I talked about, just using that as a teachable moment. How would you handle that? How would we handle that? Now, we have a overall buffer that sits in our account, and that's number 1. But then also in March, I think I left like $87 in that account, and that money is still there. So of course, $14 eats from that. So we're not negative in our account by no means. But I asked the question, what if I didn't have a huge buffer? What if we didn't have any rollover, that was sitting in that account from the previous month? What could you do to balance out that paycheck budget? And guys, the first thing that I would do is look at any extra debt that I may have allocated. So I would have to subtract that from, whatever I was negative, I would have to subtract that from my extra debt if I had enough to do so. But then it says, okay, well, if I have a basic budget and I'm not paying any extra debt, how do I handle that negative $14 or $13.98? Well, the next thing that I would look at is I would look at the sinking funds or the saving funds that I've set aside. And the first thing that I would look at is a sinking or saving fund that is not, I would say, mandatory or something that's needed like now. So we've been saving for our vacation. We have a vacation fund, and that's the first fund that I would look at if I needed to, see about reducing how much I would allocate for vacation and just subtract the $13.98 from that. So again, this is a teachable moment, guys. I just want to share that with you all, that sometimes the budgets, they're not perfect, guys. They are not. I have not seen a perfect budget, but there's sometimes in life things do happen. Like I said, we generally don't use the buffer, but for paycheck budget number 1, I was over in the buffer and I was over in the house supplies. So that does happen. It really does. But for me, I don't like it. I really don't. And I don't like eating away at our buffer in our account. So I try so hard to make sure that we keep a certain amount of money in our account. But overall, for the month of April, I'm hoping that we just pan out really well, because looking at mid-month, that's the reason why I like the mid-month checks, and I like to see everything side by side versus paycheck 1 and paycheck 2. Me looking at these numbers side by side gives me a little bit more peace, because I know house supplies, I've got $75 allocated for the whole month. And I know for the buffer, I have $50 allocated for the whole month. And I'm not over my whole month allocation. So that's the reason why I like this here set up with the mid-month check. And if you are not doing mid-month check-ins, guys, you may want to start doing that, because again, it really does help to see where you are halfway through the month, and it gives you time to, get a plan in place to where if you need to tighten up in some areas, you know exactly where you need to tighten up at. But all right, guys, this is the mid-month budget check-in. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below. This is the first mid-month check-in for the second quarter of 2021. All right, guys, I will see you later. Bye.